Hello friends, welcome to a Gecko's Gaming video. Today I'm going to be taking a whole new approach to the format. I usually play Grixis stuff, but today my friend is letting me use his account where he's got a bunch of blue-white cards. So I'm going to be taking a different approach to the format than usual and trying this deck I brewed, blue-white control. So I think that blue-white control has a lot of merits in this format, and I think it's gone largely unexplored in a serious way. Um, People just say, okay, you gotta play red because you need Uro or you need Phlage in order to close games. Um, and I'm not sure if that's true because we do have Monastery Mentor, which is an excellent closer that leaves value behind even if they remove it. Leaves a ton of value and often can close the game in and of itself. Provides tons of blockers. It's so hard to attack into. It's also so hard to defend once you lay it down. It's definitely something that you cast later in the game. You basically almost never cast it on turn 3. You're not casting this on turn 3. You're casting on turn 6, turn 10, um, or even maybe like turn 4 or 5 if you can get early value and need to stem a tide there. But um, yeah, it closes games incredibly fast once you get going. So other than that, we have one rings, classic blue white control, Jeskai control type of style. Um, But something else of note too is that our mana is so much better than the Jeskai deck. We get to play 3 basics, 2 Mystic Sanctuaries, 2 Surveil lands, and this version I elected to include Leyline Bindings, so we're playing 2 Triumphs also. And the Leyline Binding just really takes care of so many things. It's hard for the Jeskai deck to splash for this. The mana is already so stretched with that deck. Trying to hit double blue and white early and red early, and yeah, the deck has pretty tight mana requirements. So Leyline Binding, um, they have to make a fair amount of sacrifices in their deck and take on a fair amount of risk in order to do that. But in our deck, there's very little. It's almost free to play Leyline Binding, and on top of just answering basically anything that your opponent has that you don't have to worry about planeswalkers, artifacts, enchantments, really anything. And it exiles it too. And there's not a lot of enchantment removal going on. So it not only does it just answer almost any type of thing any type of threat, but it also when against show and tell, it's incredible against show and tell. It basically invalidates their combo because if they drop omniscience, you just drop this and exile the omniscience. Sure, they can maybe get a day gain or something in that time or a brainstorm. Um, or if they have one born upon a win, they could still potentially combo off. But it definitely gives you a huge angle and a huge bulwark against that deck, and on top of just being a really good card in general in the format. Um, Stifles are in here as a way to disrupt the opponent early on, catch all for lots of uh, different triggers that go off in the format, and you get fetch lands a lot. But then it also has the internal use case of being able to counter a One Ring trigger where you lose life, or it's not great on value, but sometimes if you want to stick a Solitude for 1 mana, you can stifle the evoke trigger. So it just has a lot of different utility cases in the format. It's a nice 1 mana spell to play alongside Mentor. That's the one thing that I would probably look into a little bit more, is getting more 1 mana spells for Mentor. There might be better ways to build it that have more 1 mana spells, but typically we're putting them down and then we're countering after that, or just removing things. So um, that's the way that works. And then one last thing I wanted to talk about in the main also is temporary lockdown. I'm not playing Wrath of the Skies in here because it's hard to play Wrath of the Skies in blue white. That's one big disadvantage blue white has against Jeskai, is your sweepers go down in value. Wrath of the Skies is just harder to play. You don't really want to be paying 4 mana to exile 2 mana cost things very often. Um, the rate is not great. It's good in Jeskai because you often have energy left over from Galvanic Discharge that make Wrath of the Skies an efficient spell for the mana that you're putting into it. But in this deck, um, we would have to play like Tune the Ether or something, or Tune the Narrative, and that's just not a very good card. So I'm playing Temporary Lockdown. It's a house against Mardu and Boros. It basically takes care of everything you need to take care of there. It's good against a lot of things in the format. It's also really good against the frog decks. Um, and most of those decks don't have ways to deal with enchantments, especially like the Dimmer Frog lists. Mardu and Boros energy decks, they usually run. Usually the only thing they have to deal with this is Static Field, which is a problem for sure, but you don't have to worry about it that much because um, you can, I don't know. I mean, I guess you do have to worry about it. I don't know what I'm saying, but yeah, that's about the only thing that they can do, and they usually don't run more than like 2 or 3 of those. So you can always get another one, and hopefully it just buys you enough time to then dig to your next lockdown or one ring and start going from there. Um, and yeah, the sideboard. One thing I love about this deck is that we don't have to play. Um, we don't have. We can play Rest in Peace because we don't rely on the graveyard. The only thing the graveyard does is feed dig through time. So this is a really good Rest in Peace deck, which is one of the a very well positioned deck or card in the format that's very powerful and hoses a lot of strategies. But most decks can't play it because they rely on the graveyard themselves. You can make the argument too. I mean, it is a fair argument to say that okay, well, you're not utilizing that resource, so your power level is going to be less than these decks that are that extra resource. So fair enough. But yeah, that's where we are using dig through time, but it's not a total necessity. But yeah, the graveyard just feeds dig through time in this deck, and that's about it. And also Mystic Sanctuary. And then 4 spell pierces, those are pretty obvious. You bring those in against show and tell or things like that. Lay down arms. This is in here for Boros and Mardu, but it would be prismatic endings. These would be prismatic endings 2 and 3, which can basically deal with anything. We do have the rainbow lands in here, so we can get it up to 4. And but usually you're just using it for 1 mana to exile an Ocelot Pride or a turn 1 Guide of Souls. That's mostly what it's there for. So I'm just playing Lay Down Arms because it can fill the same role against Boros. Usually it's using it 1 mana, exile target 1 mana creature. And that's totally fine. And then it's not hard to get 2 planes with all my fetch lands. So yeah, so you can get an Ajani too and stuff like that. But yeah, these would be prismatic endings, just a wild card thing. So if you feel like building the deck, you could replace those very easily. Meddling Mage is for combo decks. The 4th lockdown is another sweeper. Teferis are for show and tell and control and blue decks. And subtlety is just you can bring it in against a lot of things. I'll probably bring it in against Boros and Mardu. I haven't had a lot of chance to test this yet against them, and the deck's probably going to change as I test that format more or test that matchup more. But yeah, you can bring this in against them to not get too far behind early. And you can always catch up with rings and dig through times pretty on cards, so you're more worried about the tempo of like a turn 2 Ajani than you are about or even you could use this on turn 1 Guide of Souls too. And yeah, same thing against some of the other tempo decks and stuff like that, and it's good against creature combo. And it's good against getting a faster clock too if you just cast it for 4. So yeah, that's the deck. Let's hop into some games and see how it goes. Please let me know if you have any questions or comments or any type of feedback or suggestions for the deck. Okay, hopping into our first game here. Couldn't mulligan this one. That was a no-brainer. No lander, no brainer. I'll keep this. Put back a Solitude. So I put the Hallowed Fountain down untapped in case I need to Swords turn 1, and then I can still Mana Drain on turn 2. I'm probably going to have to shock it in either way to keep Mana Drain up on turn 2, so it just makes sense to do it now. Undercity Sewers, alright. Blue-black. There's the Monastery Mentor. not planning to cast that for a while, especially against a black deck, because they have plenty of removal. Okay, Sultai. I wonder if it's Sultai. Oh, okay. It's just classic show and tell. So we get to jam the ring on turn 3. Hopefully they don't have show and tell. If they do have show and tell, we'll put down Solitude, and then if they have a track, so we can at least get that off the board. Turn 3 show and tell. They often don't have it on turn 3, especially if I block them from assemble a team on turn 2. So yeah, there's another assemble team, so we're good for now. I have some time to try to dig to another counterspell. I'm wondering if I want to Surveil with my Flooded Strand or save it in case I draw a Brainstorm. I think I'm going to save it for now because I need both a land and a Brainstorm. And if I get another island, I'm looking for both lands and counterspells right now. So I need 2 things. So if I get another island, then I can get back my counterspell from my graveyard. Okay, that's perfect. Ideally, I really need another land though still, because they could have Veil of Summer or Thoughtseize or something, and then we'd only be able to cast one of our counterspells. Okay, they're going to Island Cycle. You got a Mystic Sanctuary. There's the Show and Tell. Okay, they do not have... they notably do not have mana for a Veil of Summer, so that was a big break for us there. Okay, I really need to hit a land here specifically, so I am going to shuffle this and get a Surveil. Not a land, so it goes in the graveyard. Stifle. So we can put down our win con here for only 1 mana. Let's do that. Let's draw some more cards. Okay, we got some lands, that's great. I'm going to put a fetch land down because I may want to get back a mana drain from the graveyard with Mystic Sanctuary. I think we're good to hold the fetch land for now. Let's draw 4 cards. We have Binding to protect against Omniscience, so I'm going to go ahead and cast a 1 ring here. Replace our old one. Draw again. Okay. So I'm going to discard some stuff. Discard 3 cards. Lorien Revealed we don't need. Okay, they're just scooping. Alright. They didn't want to make me wait for me to think about what to discard there. Okay, so we want Tef for sure. Meddling Mage. Spell Pierces. Vexing Bauble, and High Noon. Maybe Rest in Peace, probably not though. And then cuts, we want to keep Prismatic Ending because they will bring in defense grids and stuff like that probably. Subtlety is not that good. Oh yeah, the lockdowns are terrible. That's like probably the worst one. So we probably want some combination of Solitude and probably just Solitude, honestly. Because if they sneak and tell, I'm sorry, if they show and tell, we can put a Solitude in, which is not great, but it can take care of Atraxa. If that's what they put down. And then otherwise, it still has like value in terms of being a finisher, or if they just have a different Atraxa laying around. Spell Snare is for defense grid and assemble the team. Meddling Mage will usually name show and tell with that. I think that's good. I mean, I think there's a consideration for Subtlety just to have another way to kill them, but yeah, I'll go like this for now. Okay, keep this. Pretty good hand, actually. This is very good. As long as we can make a land drop or two, and Brainstorm helps assure us of that, so. I may actually Brainstorm during end step. Yeah, see, that's why you bring in Spell Pierces. That's why I never play Mystical Disputes anymore against Show and Tell. Because you gotta counter that card. Okay, I wouldn't have a chance to Brainstorm end step, but I'm not going to Brainstorm here because I need to hold up my counter spells. Okay, now we'll Brainstorm. Put back a Brainstorm. And then maybe I guess a counter spell? The rest of these are pretty good. Either a counter spell or a One Ring. Maybe I want to just draw the counter spell and not shuffle away. Yeah. Okay. So do that. Alright. We're in a pretty good spot here. If they're able to double spell this turn, we'll be in trouble. Like if they have Show and Tell plus Veil or Thoughtseize. I guess Thoughtseize won't do it. But yeah, we could be in trouble. But we do have Leyline Binding too, like in case they put up Omniscience down. Okay, they've been in Atraxa. That shows me that they're probably looking for a Show and Tell. Okay, he's just cycling Born Upon the Wind. Looks like they're digging. Digging for something. Okay, so here I want to fetch, get my Surveil land out. Okay. Let's see. I mean, they could have Born Upon a Wind and Dark Ritual, maybe, to go off. Okay, just dig through time. Can't counter it, so that's fine. The thing, maybe I wanted a mana drain that, honestly, because then I could drop One Ring and Teferi next turn pretty easily. I mean, that is a land. I'm not sure if I'll use the ability, but I will decline this, though, because I want to draw another land. So the opponent is trying to chain dig 3 times. Let him thought seize me. I mean, I have 3 counter spells, so even if he does 2 spells after this, I can still counter all of them. And then if he resolves show until I have Leyline Binding to deal with whatever's in there, whatever he puts down. So he's at the One Ring. Okay, just trying to grind me out. It's a reasonable approach, I guess, considering what's in my hand. I'm going to play Tef. Yes, they could have Veil plus Show and Tell and combo next turn. But if they do, again, I have Leyline Binding for backup, and I want to put Tef down and start advancing my game plan. And I usually like to keep Tef loyalty high unless I need to draw a card right away, because I sometimes need to counter, or I need to bounce a defense grid or something like that. I'm not sure if I need to counter that. I'm gonna say I think I will. I'm gonna put this spec on top. I'm just gonna go ahead and counter it. Alright, opponent is either in the tank or just giving up. I guess we'll see. Okay, we're still playing. I'm gonna plus 1 more time, and then next turn I'll probably minus, because again, I just want to make sure that if I need to, I can bounce a defense grid and don't have to worry about spending a counter on that. I'll let him do that. I don't have any use of the mana right now anyways, so if I were to mana drain it, I mean. And because of Teferi, it's one of the reasons why Thoughtseize and Veil of Summer are some of the better interactive cards in Show and Tell. They both get around Teferi pretty easily. Yeah, he's getting his Thoughtseize back. It's a good call. think I only have 2 Mystic Sanctuaries in this deck, so I'm going to... yeah, that's fine, no Brainstorm. I only have 2 Mystic Sanctuaries, so I'll probably fetch a Meticulous Archive at the end of his turn. Because I would like to find something soon. It'd be unfortunate if I draw a Brainstorm after that, but that's really the only downside. Otherwise, I get to keep digging for some kind of card advantage or some way to pressure them. We'll see. I'm looking for like the One Ring or a Monastery Mentor or a Dig Through Time. One of these is unlike the other in my hand, and that's Leyline Binding, and he should take Leyline Binding probably. I don't know what his plan is, but yeah, because if he manages to render my counterspells obsolete, then he will be able to safely show and tell that way. Right, he's going to just start jamming. He's just jamming show and tells. Okay, there's a Brainstorm. That I was hoping I would... I think I still want it. I want to look at the top 3, even if I get locked. Okay, we got another Brainstorm. Okay, he's assembling the team again. I think I gotta let that go. I think it would have been better to put Brainstorm on top instead of Leyline Binding. That's what I meant to do. Because that lets us look at 2 new cards next turn. If I knew it had something to do with this mana, I would counter it. But as it stands, I'll let it go. He's dug through a huge portion of his deck, though, at this point. Between all the assembled teams, he's like cycled through his deck a few times. Okay, finally hit a Dig Through Time. That's awesome. My plan is just to counter what if he goes for show and tell. Use my counters, and if that doesn't work, then I will dig and grab the leyline bindings. Yeah, that's annoying. I think I just gotta let that go for now. If he takes my dig, that's unfortunate, but then he won't be able to fight through my counter spells. Yeah. That's his strategy so far. He took the ring, he's taking a dig, he's just trying to keep me off of my card advantage. Since I have an overwhelming amount of cards to stop what he does already, that doesn't make sense to try to take those at this point. So the opponent's strategy is making sense to me so far. I swear he's cast like 8 brainstorms this game. I guess that's the 4th one. It feels like 8 though. That's how it feels. Demonic Tutor. Yeah, I mean, you know what? He has everything else at this point. You can have a Demonic Tutor too. Alright, I'm going to Surveil. Oh, I'm allowed to Surveil lands. Alright, I guess we'll go to Zagoth. I thought I had 3 Meticulous Archives in here. I just want to draw a bunch of cards right now. Okay, so that's something else I could deal with a defense grid if he lands that. I'd like to save the mana drain until I have something to do with the mana. But I guess I'm a little afraid that if I let him show and tell and put Leyline Binding down, that... Oh, yeah, he's just going to scoop. Okay. That was a really long game. All right. Another day, another game with blue light control. Actually, I'm recording this all on the same day, but you know what I mean. Gigantha, so Gigantha Hedge Maze. I was about to say they might be energy, but I guess we're not sure what they are. Okay, well now they know I have a elemental in my hand, so let's go with the Triome first. Okay. We're up against some kind of spice here. Sultai Frog with Gigantha. I can dig it though. I think I'll do a Swords of Plowshares. I'm gonna get rid of that. I'm looking for a little bit more gas. I'm just gonna do this now while we have a chance. Get the frog out of the way. Not messing around with any kind of counter spells or anything like that that they might do on their turn. Oko. Okay. Yeah, some of the guys in the Core Discord chat were working on a deck like this the other day. I was talking with them about it. I wanted this as one of those decks. So what I could do now is fetch this for like the Sultai Triome, and then I can answer Oko for 1 mana. But now I'm kind of stuck. I would have much rather. I much rather would have fetched for another Surveil land so that I can make sure I'm hitting my land drops. And I don't have an answer for the second Oko, so that's a problem. Can make a 3/3 now. I'm not super concerned about the 3/3. I can clear out a lot of those with lockdown. I can also exile it if I need to. I'll take 3 for now though. If I hit 5 mana, I really want to start chaining these Solitudes. That's interesting because I would like a counterspell, but I would also like to get to 5. I think the plan is we gotta get to 5 right now. I think the plan is we get to 5 lands and we start chaining Solitudes. So with that in mind, does it make sense to just put out a Mentor, like a bad Mentor here? Try to get them to overextend a little bit so that we can then get a bigger temporary lockdown. Like if he keeps making stuff with Oko. Sure. Main deck Abrupt Decay. This guy's not messing around. I like this Sultai mid-range stuff. Alright, so here I'm going to temporary lockdown unless I hit a 5th land. In which case I might play a Solitude instead. No, I think I want a lockdown first either way. It's got a Thoughtseize. I'm going to take my lockdown probably. He's taking a Solitude. Okay. I mean, that makes sense because the Solitude is card advantage, so. I could probably take one more hit. Well, I'll be taking 6 next turn. That put me down to 7. I think I'll just lock down now and hope their last card isn't a big bomb that I would have wanted to counter. It was just a spell pierce. Okay. Sneaky spell pierce. Hopefully we can hit a land here. Maybe earlier I was supposed to just surveil instead of fetching the Zagoth Triome. I was supposed to surveil, get a surveil land, and then just tap out for more mana for the ley line. That might have been the correct move earlier. There's Oko, or I'm sorry, Uro. I'm not too concerned about that right now. I can exile it. But I am pretty close to being dead from Oko beatdowns. Alright, darn. We're going to have to resort to some kind of, hopefully, let's see what we get here. Prismatic Ending. That's pretty good. I'm going to put back the Brainstorm. I'm going to put back one of these Solitudes. Okay. Turn my Solitude into an Elk, so my life total stays low. I don't know if that's the right call there. That's kind of interesting. We really need to get a dig or something. I think I should get rid of Oko here, right? And then just hope to draw into something to deal with the rest of the stuff. Maybe I want to fetch the Rainforest to try to get a Brainstorm back with my Sanctuary. Not clear though. That might not be good. Oh, GG. He had Bowmasters at the end of my turn. So that would do 3 damage to me and kill me. Okay, so Sultai mid-range with Frog and Troll. Wonder... Yeah, but Oko also. I wonder if they're playing... that one card. Hold on, sorry, let me just think for a second. Reanimate, of course, yeah. I wonder if they're playing Reanimate and Scam and Grief and that stuff. It's usually the decks that play Troll are playing those. Not really sure how to sideboard against him. He's kind of bringing a lot of random stuff to the table. Probably some number of Rest in Peace is good. Spell Snare is probably good. He's got Bowmasters and Frog. Temporary Lockdown. seemed decent there. And just in terms of clearing out elks and stuff. But I don't know how good that is. Cut at least 2 of them. I can cut some rest. I don't need all 3 rest in pieces. I might only play 1. Teferi is good. So is Spell Pierce. So cut another rest in peace, and I guess I'll just cut a brainstorm for now, just because I'm not really sure. I think having 1 lockdown is a decent thing since he has frogs, bowmasters. This is similar to our last hand where we might not have enough lands to get there. We do have mana drain into ring, plus 2 lands, so should be fine. Especially on the play, it's pretty decent. On the draw, his mana drain is better on turn 2 though. It's when you can get something for 2. Thoughtseize is tough, man. It's tough to fight through that. The black decks are going to be probably an issue for this blue-white deck. We don't have a lot of good ways to interact with Thoughtseize. Dig Through Time helps a little bit. But, you know, that's one thing we're not having Phlage. You really feel it. And I've been looking for a good Time Twister effect in this deck, and I can't really find one. The best ones are either Commit to Memory or the Artifact. What's the Artifact? It's like 3 mana. It's a mana rock. Midnight Clock, I think it's called. That one's probably the best one. Either that or Commit to Memory. I don't really want to play Narset though. You know, Commit to Memory goes well with Narset. And it's good in blue-black control. Commit to Memory is great in blue-black control as a Time Twister because it actually just wins you the game with if you have your Bowmasters out. Okay, I'm going to Surveil with this fetch land. Get a Meticulous Archive. Get a Surveil in. We're looking to make a land drop here, obviously. There's a land, great. But we are also trying to... Sorry, 1 sec, there we go. We are also trying to... trying to get some kind of card advantage, source of card advantage. So we need lands and card advantage. Kind of at a tough spot. That's the problem with having the Mentors in the deck. They don't really give you that card advantage early on. Not till later. Because they'll basically almost always be removed on the spot. We don't have any other creatures, so I don't want to play it until I have several spells to get value. Make sure I'm getting value off of it. Okay, that's fine. Got a couple guys. Got a couple removal spells for them. So here I'm going to get another Surveil land. Why can't I click it? Okay, there we go. Buggy arena stuff. Gonna surgical my swords. Okay. I'm gonna cast it in response. Man, I don't know. It's a pretty loose use of surgical there. I'm not sure if that's correct. I think that's probably not a good thing to bring in against my deck. And also, I get the idea. There's this idea out there that if you against control decks, you should bring in surgical extractions to like get rid of all their win cons, then they won't be able to win. But realistically, it's not. You're going down a card. Like you're not coming out ahead in that exchange. So, and I don't really care if my source polishers are gone. I have a bunch of other removal spells. So this is nice. Now we can... Now we can put Mana Drain back on top, and then we'll be able to cast Mentor for 1 mana, and then have another counter spell up to protect him. This is kind of what the deck's looking to do right here, this type of stuff. Looks like he's probably got a removal spell, judging by the priority pause. I can't counter it though, darn. Alright. I wonder if I should have countered just to get a token. Probably not worth it. He's got one of my mentors down. Counter Oko. Maybe I didn't need to. I could have Prismatic'd him next turn, but I would have had to tap out then. I don't know. Maybe I need to put 4 dig through times in here. I just feel like I always need a dig through time that I don't have. I have 3 right now. There's no instant or sorcerer I need to get from my graveyard now, so... I'm not sure I care about Deathrite Shaman. I guess he'll start to do some damage over time. I could remove it for 1 mana right now and just get rid of it before anything. But it's really not going to be doing that much. I'm just going to remove it. I don't want to mess around with this. It's going to make, if it's out there long enough, it'll make my dig through time slow, and it starts to pressure me a little bit over time. One of the advantages of this deck, though, is that I don't really care about graveyard hate. There's so much graveyard hate in the format. I actually get to play Rest in Peace because I care about the graveyard so much. Sure. People board against control decks like your combo deck, and it just doesn't make sense sometimes. I guess it's fair to bring that in. I do have the One Ring, but I don't really care. I can just remove it whenever I need to. I can still mana drain too, so that doesn't seem very good. Now if I hit a ring, I'm off to the races. I don't know if I even want anything in here now. Maybe Prismatic Ending wouldn't be bad to get back, but I have 2 bindings already. I think I'll just play the Triome to make my bindings cost less. Actually, no, I don't want to do that. I want an untapped land, so... I'll just do this. I think I want to save. I want to keep drawing. I don't need another Prismatic type effect right now. There you go. Drawing a land is not bad. Plus it gives me another Mystic if I do want it. Brainstorming. Nice, we got a 1 ring. That's great. I think I'll just play it. Yeah, I'll just play it. Yeah, I'm losing my ability to cast Mana Drain, but I don't see any point in waiting around here. He's got one card in hand. I have 2 Leyline bindings that are going to cost 1 if as soon as I fetch this, and the ring will get us answers to whatever they try to do anyways. It's hard to imagine any kind of game-breaking card that... And then also, like, if I just fold Dispel Pierce too, which I know he has in his deck if I hold Mana Drain up for too long, so... Yeah, I think this is the right move. Another Brainstorm. I could still get back a Counterspell or a Prismatic Ending. Oh, this guy. What's this guy do again? Conjure. Oh yeah, there's Midnight Clock. I was just talking about that. This card I might put in my deck. And when it enters Conjure Midnight Clock, whenever you cast a non-creature spell, you may put an Hour Counter on Midnight Clocks and drain 1. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to probably just... Actually, I'll just wait. I don't think I need to take the Midnight Clock out yet. But at any time I can for 1 mana with the binding, but... In the meantime, I'm simply going to Solitude his guy and keep attacking. Solitude is a good draw. Maybe this... he's black though. I can't put him in this deck. Exile my graveyard. Okay, yeah, that's fine. You probably... Yeah, that's fair to scoop there. Okay, anything I want to change up? It's got the Midnight Clock guy. That's pretty cool. I love Midnight Clock. Especially in Cube. It's so good in Arena Cube. Yeah. This is probably the best option in terms of Time Spiral effects for my deck. That's one of the reasons I just went ahead and added a 3rd Mentor in case... Because I don't want to run out of, like, win cons. And I also don't want to... But I also don't want to deck myself. You can deck yourself pretty easily with the ring sometimes in this deck. How slow it is. Okay, anything that... to note differently this time? He's got Death Rites, Tamios, and Psychic Frogs, and Boremasters, so that's probably a good enough reason to keep in 1 temporary lockdown. I do like the 1 Rest in Peace still. I don't think I want more than that. His deck doesn't... His deck can still do stuff without the graveyard, so... but 1 would be a good disruptive element. I have 3 for when I'm playing against like a graveyard combo deck or something like Shift and Tell or something like that. And then Teferi on the draw, probably a little bit slow, a little bit too slow on the draw. I think I'll run this back like this. Zaza Bazozumu. That's the opponent's name. Okay, this looks fine. Yeah, this looks fine. If they try fetch here, I'm definitely blasting them with a Stifle. You know it. What? Oh no! Please don't surgical like that anymore. Ow! What are you doing? It was just like revenge. Like, you surgical my fetch lands. So now I'm gonna, or you stifled my fetch lands. Now I'm gonna surgical extraction your, you know, all your stifles. That's crazy, dude. Um, that's just nuts, man. I don't even know what to say. I'm speechless. Um, okay, let's go to island. Let's just play Rest in Peace, even though I have a dig through time. I have a one ring too, so we'll try to plan on that. I probably should have saved Rest in Peace, to be fair. Because he had nothing going with the graveyard. Oh wait, there's something with the graveyard. But, he doesn't know about the mana drain, that's pretty fortunate. He's got all kinds of early different. I wonder like what his numbers are. He must have like a split of like 2 or of a lot of these things, like 2 frogs, 2 whites, because he has so many early 1s and 2s. He's got Tameo, he's got Deathrite Shaman. Um, he had another one too, didn't he? I can't remember. Well, he does not have. He does not presently have any blue mana up, so that means I can resolve a one ring, and I'll at least draw a card even if he has an answer for it. So that's what I'm going to do. I thought I had basic planes in here. Oh, is that a blue fetch land? Yeah, oh yeah, that makes sense. Maybe I should. No, that's fine. I was thinking maybe I should play around Blood Masters, but if I have protection for his whole turn, so even if they come back. Okay, that's fine. I mean, it was like questionable for me to even put that down anyways. Seems fairly symmetrical in this situation. He does have a Deathrite Shaman though, so that'll be able to start doing stuff. This is the part where you would want to have a couple more temporary lockdowns in to make sure I can draw that. Okay. Interesting. So the play here. I'm sure the play is to pass and do some combination of interaction depending on what he does next turn. I might just like hardcast Solitude, but I also don't need to. I could attacking just with the white. I'll take 2. Let's see what happens here. I could evoke Solitude, exiling a mentor if I need to counter a bunch of stuff. That would be totally fine since I have a ring going and I have another mentor in my hand anyways. I'm not going to want to cast more than 1 usually. Anyways, so. Okay, he does nothing, so that's nice. That means I'm going to flash in Solitude. I want to be careful with my life total, so I'm going to bring this in untapped. Brainstorm in response. Probably should have brainstormed in response to me casting it, not the ETB effect, but I don't know. Because in case he has a counterspell, you know. But I don't know what's in his deck, so. mean, it seems like he's just doing stuff just to... I don't know why... I'm not really sure what we're doing here. That didn't seem like a strong spot to do a brainstorm, but I don't know. Maybe he was looking for something in particular. I don't even think I need to activate the ring. I would like to hit another land, that's the only thing. Yeah, land would be big. Okay. I'll activate it. No land. Darn. Okay, we'll put out a mentor. And... my life total is getting kind of low. Maybe I want to go ahead and Swords to Death right now while I have a chance, but that would put me down for a counterspell next turn. Okay. I'll just discard, let's discard like this. Okay. I don't mind a Tameo. I guess I'll spell snare this. I don't know what he could find something good, I guess. Yeah, I'll spell snare it. Troll. Cycling the troll. So I'll take 2 from that, go down to 6, then I'll take 3 more from the ring. I'll go down to 3. Wait, did he hit me with that? I'm not sure. What did he do? I missed that. I looked away for a second. That's okay. This is really all I have to do right now. He's dead next turn. Alright, good game. Okay, let's see what we got here. I'm going to play first. We're up against the Loris deck. This hand is not great. But against a Loris deck, it may be serviceable. It's a big may. Okay, sorry about that. I had to get up for a second. This hand is keepable. Put back. It's Loris, so temporary lockdown will be good. I don't know. I think I want to put back the. I don't think I want to put back the brainstorm. This is tough. I kind of want all of these cards. Probably put back the mentor. They're gonna have a lot of removal and stuff. I'll have to fight through. It's gonna take a while. We won't be using it anytime soon. I don't think I want to use a stifle on the bobble trigger. It's probably not worth it. Especially since it would have to be on my turn too. So it's taking mana away from stuff I'd rather do. But I will, on my turn, I'm going to brainstorm. Put a tower in the yard, so this is probably one of the storm type decks. They play Underworld Breach, and then kind of a Rakdos, small guy, Dragon's Rage Channeler type cards. Sometimes Ragavan. It's like two complementary plans, like trying to build up for Storm with Breach, and then also having like a Rakdos aggro beatdown plan. Okay, this is awful. We're in a bad spot here. So what I'm going to want to do is just go ahead and Solitude this Dragon's Rage Channeler now. Since I know for sure I won't be able to temporary lockdown next turn. I don't want them to get any more triggers off that because it feeds Underworld Breach, which is what their deck's trying to do. And it also just lets them filter through and find what they need, so. And then at the end of the turn, I'm going to shuffle with my Flooded Strand and hopefully get a Surveil land. But if they play a fetch land, I'll counter that with Stifle. Or if they play a 2-drop, I'll counter that with Spell Snare. Okay, so we're going to Stifle that. These decks tend to run a really low land count, so hopefully that will help. Hopefully they won't be able to draw out of it as easily. Okay, they have a Ritual. Demonic Tutor. Still pretty scary start here. Thought sees me? Or you want to play a 1-drop? No? Okay. Yeah, we're in a bad spot here because we have no forward momentum card advantage. I think this deck needs more early card advantage spells. Brainstorm, this is not enough. I need something more. Like 2 of a kind of impulse type card, or even if it's not card advantage, just some kind of filtering. Gonna Spell Snare Underworld Breach for sure, because they'd be able to cast Demonic Tutor again. We can't have that. Do I want to Surveil here? Or do I want to draw into a Brainstorm? And I don't have anything to send back anyways from the Brainstorm, so I'm going to Surveil. It's just a theoretical Brainstorm anyways. What was that? I tried to look at my graveyard, and it clicked the land into my hand. That's pretty annoying. I would not have topped that if I was given the choice. Okay, but I'm going to take a look now. Yeah, I'm going to Surveil. This is kind of scary because they have a lot of cards in hand, and they have Loris. I don't think Swords is going to be enough. We just need to get like a dig through time or something. Okay, it's not going to be very helpful either. So we're in a tough spot here. But yeah, I would really like another, like, even if I could find just some kind of reasonable 2-mana draw too or something. Something like that at instant speed. Yeah, temporary lockdown is not good, so maybe I should have kept the Swords on top, knowing he was going to play Loris next. But I was just I just feel like I need to. I can't answer. I can't keep sitting here answering him one for one, because I need to. He has got 6 cards in hand, you know. I need to get something. I need to get a ring or a dig through time, something like that. Casting Underworld Breach with Loris. So we can play Dark Ritual and Monastery actually, so we're probably screwed here. Amp Raptor too, okay. Alright. Bowmasters, sure. Okay, now temporary lockdown is actually good, so. He didn't use the ritual, did he? No, he's saving it. Okay, finally we get the dig through time, but first I need to temporary lockdown now. You gotta counter that. Yep. They don't have Dark Ritual anymore. Otherwise I would be afraid they could tendrils me. I'm gonna draw, I guess. I don't even care if they see my card. Okay. It's a really bad card in this situation. But we'll dig through time. Oops. Oh yeah. Yeah, because I have 2 colorless, so. It's kind of a tough call if I want to. I think I almost want to exile more cards in case I get a. Because the 2 colors could be helpful if I get a ring. We whiffed though, so. Do have Solitude, that's pretty good. And. I guess we'll go for another dig for now. I'm not sure. There's a lot of options in that pile. This is definitely going shields down and letting them combo off if they have it, but I gotta get the Loris off the board, and I need them to use the mana now. So. If they have it, they have it. They probably do, because they have a lot of cards. They could also just double bolt me, I suppose. If the Amp Raptor didn't have first strike, I would definitely block there to gain some life. Yeah, that's one way. That's one way to die. Yeah, okay. You got me. Actually, he didn't have 3 cards in the graveyard, but I'm guessing he was going to get there. That was not a close game that we were close to winning or anything. Rest in peace. This is where we want those. Lay down arms is pretty good. Temporary lockdown is good. Yeah, I guess meddling mage. Honestly, I kind of want like subtlety too, and maybe even spell pierce. I don't know. Let's see what we have to cut first. Binding is not doing a whole lot for us here. Yeah, unfortunately, Stifle doesn't stop Underworld Breach. Um, would it stop Storm? I can't remember if it works on Storm or not. Tef's probably too slow anyways, and I'm not really worried about instant speed stuff. You can probably cut Stifle, I guess. Definitely want Spell Snare. Yeah, I think I'm trimming the bindings. I could probably cut Sagas with it too. Late on Arms is not great. Those are supposed to be prismatic endings. I just don't have the wild cards for them right now, so I'm playing this because it's good against the energy decks and stuff. But it's definitely not an ideal card. I think we'll try this. And this is where you see the shortcomings of it, where I mean, it'll be good for snagging their one drops. But other than that, I'm not super excited about it. I got to mulligan this. Another one lander. This one's honestly worse than the last one because it doesn't even have a brainstorm. So I got to mulligan again. Another one lander. It's basically been the same hand 3 times, so I guess I'll keep it the 3rd time. We have some early action at least to hold off. Okay, that's really bad against me. I'm glad he brought that in. So is that. Wow. Okay. Okay, so opponent mulled to 5 also. I mean, I guess I won't be able to dig for a long time now, but I don't really. It's not that big of a deal. Especially when you consider that I have Rest in Peace in my deck too. I could bluff a counterspell, but I'm not going to get cute here. I just want to. I want to conserve my life total. This is a deck where your life total matters a lot. It matters both for their ability to combo and also for. And also, you know, since I'm a control deck, I need to they have a fair beatdown plan, and they also have a combo plan that cares about your life total. That's what I'm trying to say. Sorry, I'm getting a little tired. Okay, Delta. Raucous Theater, Surveil. I want to make sure to get the swords out now. There's an argument for doing it, seeing if I draw a land next turn. Because if I draw a land, then it's redundant with the temporary lockdown. But actually, you know what? They might even just play Vexing Bauble. They might not have even brought that in. They might just play that as a piece of their deck. Like, it puts an artifact in the graveyard, and it can cycle to draw a card, and it has random value, and it only costs 1 for a Storm too. So you can cast out the graveyard after and loop it to draw cards. And no, I mean, it's actually pretty good in their deck. And then it just kind of has random value against everything else in the format that it's good against, including Show and Tell and Elementals. That's fine since I have temporary lockdown. Okay, I'm gonna get another Surveil. Hopefully I don't get Blood Mooned. I mean, I need a land, but I also kind of need this, so I'm going to take it. The thing about Hearth too is it's never really that bad since it can always just kind of be a beatdown creature. What's he got in there? He can ritual. That's totally fine, actually. Underworld Breach is fine. He's got a ritual and a Dragon's Rage Channeler. Like a mana drain if he tries to tutor for like a 10-year-olds or something. Okay. I'll use this now. There's enough things to get value from. The Loris will come back next turn, bring back... I mean, I guess all it can bring back is Breach, which doesn't even do anything right now, really. Okay, so the Bauble goes in the yard. That's pretty good value. You can get that back with Loris next turn. Tutor, okay. Oh, okay. Feed the Storm, nice. He topped it with Dragon's Rage, whatever he looked at there. Could I style Dragon's Rage Channeler? Can't do any damage to me next turn, but it can surveil and filter and feed their next Underworld Breach quite a bit. But then I wouldn't have an answer for Loris. I think I'm going to do it, though. It's his only one that he's got right now, so get it out of there. Citrus Supplier is just gas in his deck. such gas. Alright, let's see if they can go off. They should be able to go off here, I suppose. They got Tutor. Good news is I have ring protection, so they can get a big advantage, but I don't think they can kill me. I'm pretty sure Tendrils, even if they hit a Tendrils, it says target player, so... I'll be drawing 3 cards next turn altogether between my draw phase and the ring, so Looking for another temporary lockdown would be nice. Also, might be able to sneak a dig in. Okay, let's go ahead and draw. Draw first. So I can exile some more creatures. That's not bad. Like I said, these guys are gas, so we need to get rid of them before they find ways to sacrifice them. Get back even more value with the Underworld Breach. The hearse is kind of annoying. I would have digged by now, but I'm almost in range to just hardcast dig, so I'm going to hold this up in case they cast Lurrus. I don't see a way immediately to sacrifice the Stitcher Supplier. They do play Diabolic Intents often. Do I counter this one? I think I should, yeah. Because I do have the... He'll be able to get one card back with Lurrus, but then I... Or maybe even not, unless he has more mana. But, because I do have the swords for Lurrus, so I'm not worried about that. There we go, get him right there. Boom. Okay, lose 2 from the ring. Let's draw, see what we get. Draw with the ring. Okay, we'll play a Delta, and let's go ahead and just put out a Mentor for now. Do I want to dig in response to this? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It'll leave me with 3 left. So I could mana drain something still, but I wouldn't be able to hardcast Solitude. Yeah, let's go ahead and fetch and dig here. Fetch twice and dig. I might put swords back on top too. Or mana drain. No, I think I'd rather save that. I'd rather use the mana for dig through time. So it's definitely a minor error there to get the Sanctuary. Okay, Rest in Peace is awesome. And I should be wary of my life total. Maybe I want to get temporary lockdown. I'm not sure if that was right. I kind of need to make a split decision though. Sure. All I need to do is just counter Breach if he plays it. That's fine. I don't care about that. Oh, Phyrexian Tower. I was like, how did he sack that? All I need to do is counter Underworld Breach. That's all we gotta do. Oh, he's got tendrils though. Yeah, so you can counter Storm. Yeah, so I think we should be okay. I'm not sure how many spells he's cast. I wasn't counting. But I do have a Solitude I could use to exile one of my guys to gain some life back if we need to. Okay, so he's not doing enough to kill us. That's fine. This is where Stifle would come in handy. Okay, we're drawing with the ring. Seeing if we hit another ring. Oh wait, I forgot about the... Okay. Oh wait, okay, yeah, I just totally... I knew I was supposed to do that, but... Oh, that's why I wasn't doing it in the first place. Okay, I totally biffed that game, but I think we could have won that one. Yeah, I knew I wasn't supposed to draw with the ring at first. That's why I was going to dig through time. But then I was like, I forgot about that for a second, and I was like, oh, I'll just go ahead and draw before I dig. To see if we can hit another ring. So I needed to dig to see what we hit. So that was a huge biff there. But I think that game was imminently winnable. Let's see. I think we could have won that one if I hadn't punted at the end there. Do the classic forget about Bowmasters after you remembered Bowmasters at the beginning of thinking through your line. Okay, so taking a look at the deck in retrospect after playing a few matches. Well, obviously, that last match, I think we could have won game 2 at least. Game 1, we didn't have much play. Game 2, I obviously made some big mistakes, but you could see how I could have won that and then come back and won game 3 also, potentially. But that notwithstanding, the deck does have some issues. Your life total is a lot more at play than with Jeskai. Even though you're generally going to take less damage from your lands, but you also gain way less life by replacing Phlage with Mentor, is more or less. So that is an issue, I suppose. It's somewhat mitigated by the fact that you could stick a Mentor earlier than a Phlage usually, and then also use it to create blockers to preserve your life total. That didn't really come up much in these matches, but it definitely is a thing that'll come up in energy and different things like that. Cast a Mentor on turn 4 or 5 and have a couple spells up to survive with blocking. But yeah, the other thing so not only is your life total you have a lot less life gain, but you also have drastically less quality sweepers. You can make an argument that temporary lockdown has some advantages over Wrath of the Skies, even if you have access to both and you have a little bit of energy from like discharges and whatnot. But not getting access to Cinderclasm definitely hurts, or not getting access to instant speed sweepers, plus having your main sweeper just being so dependent on not getting removed. Those are some definite downsides. The upsides are the deck has much better mana. You don't have to worry about Blood Moon as much. You can turn the corner really fast, like out of nowhere with Mentor. And you get to play Monastery Mentor, and that's just fun. That's just awesome. So I'm going to continue probably working on this a little bit. I'm not sure if I'll post another video about it. If there's interest and people are asking for it, I definitely will continue working on it. I think there's a lot of directions to go with Monastery Mentor in this format. And and adding some more 1-drops might be a good idea. One last thing I just thought of too, I mentioned in the videos, but I would like to have another 1 or 2 mana kind of card advantage or cantrip type effect. I wonder if with Mentor it justifies playing like a Consider or something that is instant speed like that in some number. But yeah, so the deck is pretty sweet, very fun, and I think there's a lot of directions to go. The other thing about blue-white control is you can play a Kahira focus deck with just Solitude as your win con and not have any Mentor at all. That's something I've played with a little bit too. But yeah, I mean, I'm not sure if it's better than Jeskai, but it's definitely something that's a lot less explored and something that I'm interested in exploring, and it has pros and cons when compared to Jeskai. Anyways, yeah, thanks a lot for watching. Please like and subscribe if you liked the video, and we'll catch you next time.